Hey guys, what's up? Otaku Mike here. Today we're doing a little, I guess, get to know me and where I've been video. Sort of a tag video. Watch Jingraves is where have you come from, where are you, or is it where are you going video? I think it's where are you going, where have you come from? Where basically you take a look back at where have you come from on your YouTube manga tube journey and basically a look back at it and see how you've progressed and what has changed over your journey. So my channel was officially started, or actually started, back on May 19th, 2016. I made a channel, but I never did anything with it until October of last year. I think it was around October. I can't really remember exactly when it was. My original name wasn't Otaku Mike. It was Mike the Noob, which is my PlayStation handle, because I was going to do gaming originally at first, which I did kind of start out with the gaming thing originally, and you can see some of those clips on my YouTube page where I would basically mess with my wife when we were playing Fortnite. That is what I did. Sorry, my cat's a little distracting me. My very first video was called Kitty Eating Pizza, and I filmed my cat eating my pizza. There's a little Easter egg for you. That was my first video put up on YouTube. Then I went from that to, doing the Fortnite stuff. I moved into anime because anime is predominantly what I know and what I personally grew up with is the older animes. So I started reviewing anime. As you can see, I have a huge shelf full of anime. You can't see below you, but there's a lot of anime. More than manga. I don't have a lot of manga. I mean, I do have a lot of manga, but it's not like a lot more than everybody else has. So that's what I started to do. I started to review the shows that I enjoyed growing up. The shows that nobody was necessarily talking about. Like Jubei-chan the Ninja Girl, or Midori Days, or El Hazard, and Elfen Lied, and just other things like Cyber City 0808 and stuff like that, and Genshigen, I was reviewing that stuff, and I was doing my hauls. I think I started to incorporate my manga hauls into my hauls at that time. I was kind of doing anime and manga simultaneously. I was showing my manga that I got. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on that. Then eventually, I got my first shout out from a YouTuber you may or may not know named Phantom Banshee. He's a pretty cool dude. And I thought that was amazing. I think that was at like 40 subscribers at that time. I thought I was the hot shit at 40 subscribers. I was like, that is so cool. People want to watch me. And I was doing the anime reviewing thing, because I wasn't reviewing newer anime. I was reviewing the older stuff, because that's what my bread and butter is the older anime. I reviewed what I watched as a teenager and what I grew up with watching. So I slowly started to incorporate manga. So sorry about that. I started to incorporate manga into my channel and focus sort of in between on the manga / anime. I was kind of doing a double duty on anime reviewing and manga. I wasn't getting that many responses and reviews on anime, so I shifted towards manga, which I didn't know about the manga community as a whole at that point. I was basically doing the lone wolf thing, where, I'm off doing my own thing. If you want to talk to me, that was cool. I would talk to you, and, vice versa. I didn't really go searching for people when I started the whole YouTube thing, because I thought, everybody did things by themselves. Nobody really incorporated or collaborated and stuff like that. When it came to YouTube or MangaTube or AnimeTube, whatever you want to call it, we'll just call it YouTube in general. So I started to incorporate more manga reviews into my channel. I don't even remember what manga review I first did, but somebody stumbled upon me by the name of Ameskio J. And he was like, hey, cool, a new manga tuber. And I was like, what the fuck's a manga tuber? I was like, what? Okay, I'll go with you on this. Like, what's a manga tuber? And he was like, oh, it's somebody who reviews manga. I guess that's me. I guess. I read manga occasionally, I collect it, I didn't really know myself as a manga tuber. Now I'm sort of associated with that, being somebody who reviews predominantly manga at this point and whatnot. So I get dragged into this world, which we now call MangaTube, and it's been a really interesting ride. I got to collaborate with Bizarre Individual, one of the coolest manga tubers I know. We did a thing for the 12 Days of Anime, which was part of BB's World's channel during the Christmas time, which was really cool. And we had to make a video each for 12 days straight, which was one of the hardest things I personally had to do. And one of them was Bizarre and I had to name as many anime as we could within the span of I think 5 minutes or something like that. He says he won. I think he cheated. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Anyways, we did that, and that was super cool, And then I started to slowly meet more people. More people were starting to suggest other people to me to check out and see. And that was really interesting. One thing I've really enjoyed is meeting all these new people and, becoming friends with them. Even though we're not in the same city, we don't necessarily talk to each other every single day. We still can pick up the conversation where we left off a couple weeks ago or something like that, We can encourage people to, do better within this community that we call MangaTube. And we get to encourage newer people to do it, because, I'm almost at a year. At October, I'll be a year old. The channel will technically be a year old. So that's really cool. After we did the 12 days, which that was something, whew, that was something. I don't know if I'm going to do it again this year, but, I started to get more into manga, because I would say I was a casual fan, and MangaTube made me sort of hardcore manga fan now, to an extent. I don't always get the popular titles. People have labeled me the king of ecchi. I still don't know why, but that's what people call me. Some people out there, you know who you are. And I have become somebody who, at first would film their shelf and be behind the camera, and now I'm more in front of the camera, and I feel more confident in talking to people now than I did beforehand, because I was very almost not a little shy. I was very worried about what people thought of me because, there are those YouTube trolls out there, which I have run into my fair share of YouTube trolls. Just go check out my video, Comics Are for Fat Kids, and you'll see why. But, I've started to incorporate more manga into the manga tube. I've met so many wonderful people. I got to, as somebody who is a fan of podcasts, it was such a dream to get to be on my first podcast, which was the Manga Club with Local Lee and Jingraves. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I was in the live stream, and I believe Ameskio J was on at that time. And they were like, "Oh, who wants to be on the Manga Club?" And I was like, "I'll do it." And I was like, "Okay." They're like, "Okay, you're on." I don't even think they fully knew who I was at the time, because I was fairly still new to the manga community. I was making little waves here and there, but I wasn't fully integrated within the manga community. And that, honestly, is one of the coolest things that I still look back on my journey, is getting to be a part of the Manga Club. Not once, not twice, but 3 times so far. Which, honestly, I feel like every time I go on to the Manga Club, we talk about something more and we get a little further and getting to know each other a little bit more intimately and stuff like that. Because we go to some pretty interesting places, I'll just tell you that. But anyways, yeah, I've met friends. I've gotten to help start a podcast as well, with two of my best buds. Who would have thought, I would be helping start a podcast. The Otaku Dadcast every Monday is at 9 o'clock. Just go look for it. With, Flip Otaku and Jingraves. I still remember the day Flip, I was making dinner and he was like, "Let's be best friends." And I was like, "Okay, we're gonna be best friends." And he messaged me, he's like, "Hey, let's start a podcast." And I was like, "A podcast? Just me and you?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, let's do this." And we hit the ground running. And I believe our second episode, we brought Jingraves on because we wanted him originally, but we thought he was too busy to do our podcast, even though everybody wanted him to be on our podcast because we all are dads, which was really cool. You get that different perspective to being in the fandom, because you don't see a lot of people within the fandom who have families and who have kids. One cool thing is I've got to do several giveaways, which honestly are a joy for me to do, because I love seeing the people's reactions to when they win and stuff like that, it makes me feel good to give back to people, like give people stuff. It really makes me feel good and whatnot. I've gotten my wife to be a part of my channel, even though she kicks and screams and says she didn't want to. When I hit she said, "When you hit 200 subscribers, I will be in your video." And I got people to ask her questions in my Q&A, which was phenomenal. It was fun to bring my wife on. One day I hope to do a segment where we review stuff, but I don't know. She's a pretty busy person. And my wife, has been so supportive of my YouTube journey and, of the people that I've met. I talk to Jingraves and Flip Otaku on a daily basis. My wife asks me, how are they doing, and, stuff like that. And they ask vice versa, because we do talk every single day. A lot, sometimes, And then, I started to incorporate Gunpla, one of my lost passions and hobbies, because I had been out of Gunpla for such a long time. I started to slowly incorporate that into my channel, which honestly is one of the most fun things I enjoy doing, is building Gunpla and live streaming it and having people talk to me while I'm building, and just chit chatting, just shooting the shit, um, which is really fun. I feel like my YouTube journey has come a very long way. I'm very proud of where I have come from, and where I'm going. I'm still at shocked. That I'm a part of a podcast, and people like the content that we're making. I'm I'm surprised that two of my best buds want to hang out with a knucklehead like me, who's a big jokester. It's outstanding. I like to see I like to see all the new people coming up. I like to see, the people being like, oh, I want to get into this. How can I get into this? And I'll tell you exactly how you can get into Gunpla and stuff like that, and how to get into manga and anime and stuff like that. I've gone to some pretty interesting places when it comes to the hobby, because um, I've had things happen to me that certain people have not gone through, like the fact of losing a collection, which people have said that video has helped them out quite a bit, and whatnot, and dealing with depression and stuff like that, which is the whole thing in and of itself. This it started out as something that I was going to do by myself, but now it's become more bigger, and I enjoy doing it with other people. Even though we're not here in the same room, we create videos, we bounce ideas off of each other, which is a lot of fun to do, honestly. But the only way, the only where I've been, it shows me of what type of person I have become. I have made friends and I've made enemies on my YouTube journey. No, no one, some people take my jokes too seriously, which sometimes I rub people the wrong way, with my jokes. I've talked about controversial topics. I'm not one of those people that's going to shy away from things. I'm pretty blunt, honestly. And we're all not going to all get along, Some of us, we're going to butt heads occasionally, And that's cool. But, as long as we're doing everything in a healthy, competition-wise, to see everybody grow at their own rate. That's one thing that I really enjoy seeing when it comes to YouTube, and my journey as well, as seeing people grow and as better manga tubers as well, which is really cool. And I feel like I've grown in this sense as well. I've become a better talker. I've gotten more knowledgeable about things. People have come to me about how to get into the older anime series and stuff like that, how to start building Gunpla and stuff like that. So, where am I going? Honestly, I have no fucking idea where I'm going. I do this by the seat of my pants. And wherever YouTube takes me, it takes me. If it takes me a couple of years to get to 1,000 subscribers, it takes me a couple of years, I don't know where I will be going, but I know I for sure will have a fun time doing it, because I enjoy this community, this way of creating videos with people, friends and stuff like that. I enjoy it, and it's become a part of my life, which it's been one hell of a ride, and I hope that it's one hell of a ride to be, for the next couple years, depending on how long this goes for. I would love for it to go on forever. Who knows? We'll see. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Otaku Mike, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Go check out Jingraves' video. It's really cool. I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It always helps. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.